Are you ready to jump in? In this video, we're going to be focused on discovering your why, or the things in life that are driving and motivating you to find financial freedom. We'll also talk about how to set goals and make plans that will continually drive you towards achieving your why. As we get started, I want you to pull out the first handout for this video that's titled My Why, Goals and Objectives. While you're downloading that file, I'd like to tell you a quick story about my dad. My dad grew up on a farm in Utah, and on part of that farm there was a large field where they would grow alfalfa, or hay, that they used to feed their livestock. In the spring, they would carefully plant seeds in very straight lines stretching across this large field. When my dad was first getting started planting the seeds and driving the tractor, he found it very difficult to plow straight lines. And after driving the tractor 100 yards or so, he would often look back and be disappointed with how crooked his rows had turned out. Well, one afternoon, after becoming frustrated with his windy, crooked rows, he asked his dad, my grandpa, what he was doing wrong. My grandpa lovingly explained to him that it's nearly impossible to plow straight lines when you're only focused on the ground immediately below or in front of you. My dad had made the mistake of fixing his eyes at the wheel of the tractor and thinking that would provide him with the right perspective for a long row of seeds. Well, instead, my grandpa taught him a better strategy. He coached him to focus his eyes on a geographic point way out in the distance and to keep his eyes fixated on that endpoint as he drove the tractor. Well, my dad tried this new strategy and not only found out that it resulted in straight lines being plowed, but it also made the job much less stressful, more enjoyable, and ultimately more rewarding. Well, what does this have to do with your own financial journey? It helps illustrate the importance of understanding your why and identifying your goals and objectives. You see, having a clear why and having well-defined goals provides you a destination out in the future that you can fix your eyes on and march towards. It keeps you focused and moving in a straight line. Without knowing your why and having clearly defined goals, it's a little like staring at the tractor wheel and hoping you make it to the end of the field with a product that you like. Unfortunately, it usually doesn't end very well. Now, if any of you have seen the movie or read the book Alice in Wonderland, you may be familiar with a common saying one of the characters shares. The old Cheshire Cat in the story wisely counsels Alice that if she doesn't know where she wants to end up, then it doesn't really matter which direction she goes. Okay, do you have that handout ready? You'll see on the handout that there's a section at the top where you can fill out what your why is. There's a screenshot of what this looks like on the slide. Knowing your why will give you purpose and direction. It will also give you the extra motivation you need to push forward when things get a little tough. For example, your why may be to provide your children the types of opportunities you wished you had. Or it may be to set yourself up financially so you can retire early and fulfill some lifelong dream. Or it may be achieving financial security so you can focus more of your time and energy on something you feel is part of your life's mission. What is it that really motivates you? What is that fixed destination out on the horizon that can focus and help you keep headed in a straight line? So take a minute now, pause the video if you'd like and if it's helpful, and go ahead and fill out your why. Now that you have your why, it's time to set some defined goals that will help you to achieve your why, one step at a time. Denzel Washington once famously said that dreams without goals are just dreams that ultimately fuel disappointment. To me, that highlights the importance of not just knowing your why and where you want to end up, but putting goals and plans in place that help you to move closer to your why and ultimately accomplish it. On your handout, you'll see that there are 3 areas for goals to set: short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. The short-term goal is generally a 1 to 3 month goal. This could be something like establishing a budget, which I'll teach you all about in videos 4 and 5, and living on that budget for 3 consecutive months. Another short-term goal you might set could be to set up an investment account, which I'll also teach you all about in videos 8 and 9. You might even have a short-term goal to do something a little more simple, like complete this course. The medium-term goal is generally something that will take between 6 and 12 months to accomplish. This could be something like establishing a 6-month emergency savings fund, or investing your first $5,000, or saving up a down payment for your first home. The long-term goal is something that will take probably 1 to 3 years to accomplish. This could be something like paying off your student loans, or getting out of debt, or even buying your first home. The key is that your short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals should be moving you closer to achieving your why. They should all be aligned and keep you making progress in the right direction. Now, before you take a minute to set your own goals, let me show you a trick about setting SMART goals. Some of you may be familiar with this strategy that's a helpful tool for setting effective goals. The word SMART becomes an acronym that describes the characteristics of good goals that set you up for success. The S stands for specific. The M stands for measurable. The A stands for achievable. The R stands for relevant. The T stands for time-bound. So in other words, a SMART goal is a goal that is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Let me show you an example of how this works. You might have a goal to pay off debt, and while paying off debt is a great goal, it's not a SMART goal just yet because it's a little vague and unclear. For example, how much debt and by when? Now you could turn this goal into a SMART goal by following the acronym. So let's adjust this goal to make it a little more specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. A SMART goal would be to pay off $10,000 in student loans within the next 6 months. Can you see the difference? This updated goal identifies how much, what kind of debt, and sets a deadline for when the goal should be accomplished by. This is a SMART goal and is something that's far easier to measure progress on and hold yourself accountable to. All right, now that we know how to set SMART goals, go ahead and take some time to set your own personal financial short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. Once you've got those set, we're ready to jump into our next video and discuss the 5 critical principles for success. I'll see you in the next video.